Okay, this is the electric meter and electric service panel inspection, and this meter is on the garage west wall. It's not sealed on the top and sides. You saw that in another video. You also saw in another video that the grounding rod is not completely buried, but it's mostly buried and it's secure. That's a little redundant. We do that. But also, here is the electric service panel inside of the garage. And what have we got here? Well, one thing we've got here is we see all these wire nuts. This panel's been replaced before. So if it's been replaced, then it seems reasonable to assume that we'd be able to find a building permit. You're not supposed to replace these without a building permit. Just saying. So, what else are we looking at? See the gaps? They're not supposed to be more than 1/16 of an inch. That compromises the fire blocking. Okay, how was this panel installed in here? I don't even know. I don't see a screw one. That is weird. What holds you in? You feel snug? You feel snug? What's holding you in? I see a screw hole right there. Somebody put a screw in it one time. I'm not seeing any fasteners. That's bizarre. It's in. Okay. I'll say that. I could not determine how the electric service panel was fastened. That's the wrong folder. I could not determine how the electric service panel was fastened. 1/18 of an inch gap. Huh. Keep looking. Maybe it'll reveal itself. There we go. I see one down there. Screwed in. Ah, there we go. There's another one. That's a sheetrock screw. Screws are faster and tighter. I get that. But they don't have the shear strength that nails do. If this structure was to experience something like a tornado, you've already got a bad day. I get that. But nails have more shear strength. And if this panel had been properly fastened, properly secured in the wall with nails instead of screws, then it would stand at least a fighting chance, or have at least a chance of withstanding something like an event like a tornado. It just would. So we've got more than 1/16 of an inch gaps, and we've got screws. I don't see building permits. These cables are not supposed to be touching the panel cover. They're not supposed to be doing that. So you got cables touching the panel cover. L1 and L2, okay, should have little plastic, little rubber neoprene booties on them. If you don't know that's hot, you don't belong in this cabinet. I get that, but they're supposed to have protective covers on them. Especially since this cabinet has been replaced. If it was original, I would say that it wasn't required. But I don't know when this cabinet was replaced. So, you know what? It might have been required. This is your main neutral. And it's wrapped with one piece of, it's supposed to be wrapped 4 times. Not 4 times in a row, but a nice long white section there. So that you know that that's the neutral. If you don't know that's the neutral, you don't belong in this cabinet. I get that. But that's what it's supposed to happen. I don't make the rules. It's supposed to be wrapped like that. See these wires coming in here? See the black on them? Okay? It's because they're supposed to be marked with black tape right there. That's fine. That white tape is a little bit on the deficiency side. L1 and L2, it comes in here. But we didn't know where it was coming in, so we have these twist outs or these knockouts, and we have a, so we could install this cabinet in a lot of houses, not just one. So, and see all these small ones? Those are for these circuits. You're not supposed to have all your circuits coming in like that. That's called bundling. And I hate apologizing for my work. I really, really do hate apologizing for my work. But even my illustration that I'm going to give to as far as an example, is apologetic, and it says this is a very common deficiency, and it is. I got it in my house, which isn't for sale, and you shouldn't have to live like me. So that's I would never dissuade my client from seeking perfection. Now, some home inspectors have a little trouble with these little stackable breakers right here. Some people call them cheater breakers, okay? But they're allowed. They're allowed. The manufacturer says they are. I'm reading the label. Okay. I'm also seeing that this is labeled as an air conditioning unit as 60 amps. The largest amperage we have over there is 50. So we've got at least one condensing unit that's overfused. And this is for the second condensing unit. Another condensing is rated 30, and I'm thinking that's the upstairs one. I don't know. And it's rated for 35. Okay, so that could be underfused according to the manufacturer. The manufacturer likes to see the largest breaker possible. But the upstairs one is actually rated as 20 to 35, so that might be acceptable. And also know this, when you replace the condensing unit, it's going to be more efficient, and it's not going to need as large a breaker. So you could put a 35 amp breaker in there and be happy today. When you replace the condensing unit, then you're then you're replacing the breaker again. So just follow your heart on that one. But this one's supposed to be 50 amps at maximum, and so it's overfused. It'll always be overfused. When you replace that one, it's the older one. When you replace that one, it won't get any better. It won't get any better. So what do we learn? We learned that the cabinet was screwed into place. We learned that our gaps are higher than the 16th of an inch. We learned that we've got bundling. We learned that we do not have covers. We learned that our neutral line should be wrapped better. We learned that, well, at least one of our air conditioning systems is overfused. And the bonding location is not labeled inside of the panel. We learned that. We're learning it now. Also, the breaker, I hardly could tell what was an air conditioning breaker. Can you tell? I can't tell. That's not supposed to be handwritten, because this is what happens to handwriting. It's supposed to be printed right there where it says square D. It's supposed to be printed. Square D, square D, square D. It's supposed to be printed. Not supposed to be handwritten.